your heart, your diet, and herbs. Hi, this is Jovanka from JovankaCiares.com, and this is part 2 of 3 of the heart health video series that I wanted to bring off to you to teach you a little bit about how your diet kind of interacts with that beautiful ticker that we called a heart, and how you can protect and keep your heart working strong and hard for many years to come. And if your heart is strong because you're young and bubbly, perhaps you know somebody who does, because if you were part of video number 1, you probably know that it is something that touches every single one of us in the Western world. So let's get to it. This video is going to be more specific about the studies behind diet and heart health. So once again, I want to share my screen and show you some of the amazing slides that I created for you. So the vegan diet, I'm specifically talking about a fully whole foods, plant-based diet, is the diet that I follow, is the diet that I recommend anybody that asks me. And there is a main reason for that, and it's because the data, the science is there to support the fact that the vegan diet is not only the most effective for weight loss, but also to reverse some of the things, the symptoms and the conditions that are considered a precursor to heart disease. I want to bring here as a way of example just two randomized studies, but I encourage you to look for yourself and find it, because like Dr. Kim has said, there are two types of cardiologists out there: the ones that have read the vegan ones, and the ones that have not read the data. So the data is there, is robust, it's been around for decades at this point, and it is up to us to find it, dissect it, take it to our doctors, make sure that it works for us, not just be just a passive, person in the process of your life, right? Like, this is your life, and you want your life to be as healthy and as strong and as lively and as high quality as possible. So you, as the expert in you, need to take the reins of that particular journey and be the captain of your own longevity and your own destiny. So again, I am showing you two studies here, and the first one is, let me see if I find it easily. This is actually a summary of the groundbreaking research done in relation to plant-based diet for the prevention of heart disease. And as you see in the highlighted section here, Dr. Dean Ornish, created a landmark study that tested the effects of plant-based diet on participants with moderate to severe heart disease. They did not have surgery, they did not have any stents, they just simply did diet and lifestyle changes. Because remember, the diet alone is not going to help you. The diet is about 80% of the equation, but without all the lifestyle changes, you're not going to be 100% there. So within just a handful of weeks, 90% of people who experienced chest pain said that the pain was diminishing. And after 1 month, blood flow on the heart was improved. After a year, even those with severe blocked in their arteries had reopening of those arteries and went back to living a higher quality of life. In the Cleveland Clinic, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn tested a similar approach, also a very strict plant-based diet with lifestyle changes. And in this case, he was talking with people with severe heart disease, and the publishing of those results were very similar. These studies were actually done in the 80s and early 90s. We're talking about 30 plus 40 years ago. This video that I am doing right now is in 2021. So it comes to tell you how these diets are still very much prevalent. And if you're wondering, okay, so what about now, right? Like now, back in the 80s and 90s, we did not know about keto. We did not know about paleo. What about then? Well, The keto and the paleo diets are relatively similar to the Mediterranean diet, with the exclusion of some of the complex carbohydrates that the Mediterranean diet encourages, and maybe some of the legumes, and that keto might be a little bit more aggressively against. But in a study that was published, this was in the beginning of 2021, published in the Journal of American College of Nutrition, found that a low-fat vegan diet had better outcome for weight, for body composition, insulin sensitivity, cholesterol levels, and other markers compared to the Mediterranean diet. And if you look further down here, after 16 weeks in these studies, these participants lost about 13 pounds on a vegan diet compared with no mean changes in the Mediterranean diet. Participants lost about 7.5 pounds of fat mass out of the vegan diet. This is a diet that is full of whole foods and complex carbohydrates. In the vegan community, we do not shy away from legumes or from complex carbohydrates. We don't consume them in large amounts because everything in excess is going to cause you to gain weight, right? Like, and it's going to cause you to have other markers that are not positive. Look at the decrease in LDL cholesterol levels, like incredible. And there's no significant cholesterol changes in the Mediterranean diet. And look at the blood pressure, the high blood pressure decreased on both diets, but it actually decreased in the Mediterranean diet a little bit more than in the vegan diet. So when you compare the two diets, you realize that both diets are truly amazing. They're really great for you. But if your goal is to actually protect your heart, potentially to reverse some conditions, this is the kind of data that you have to bring to your doctor and tell them, I need you to be a partner in this. If you don't know enough about nutrition, that is okay. But I am here to tell you that there is data that we need to pay attention to. And it is to the benefit of not just you and your doctor, but also to the benefit of all of the other patients that that doctor could potentially have. Now, the doctor might not be happy that you're actually teaching him and educating him or her, but that is okay. If a doctor is not willing and open, then you need to find another alternative, because the doctor is the expert, but he's also there to actually guide you, and he's also there to be a partner. You are not on the passenger seat, you are on the driver's seat. This is your body, this is your life. So the doctor needs to actually get on with it and be a true partner in this process, because your life depends on it. Going back to the slideshow, people tend to ask me a lot, what about the pros and cons of the plant-based diet? And I found this particular chart, which I'm not going to look too much at the stuff that you see on the left because it's very obvious, right? Like, we know what the pros are, but I want to debunk some of the cons, because a lot of people have the same issues and they're valid, right? If you live in certain parts of the world where you might not have a lot of food choices, you might be concerned about it. And my solution to you is to go to the market, to maybe be encouraged and be excited about learning how to cook for yourself and finding other alternatives. There's a million books out there that teach you how to eat a plant-based diet, or how to consume more plants in your diet as you transition into a plant-based diet. Possible nutrient deficiency is a complete fallacy. If you eat the rainbow, like if you eat a bright set of colors every single day, like what you see in the picture here, the data shows that you should not have any nutrient deficiencies. In some cases, people might have some deficiencies related to vitamin B12. That is not necessarily true if you are the one that consumes some animal flesh, but also remember, this is not a vitamin, it's actually a type of bacteria that lives and replenishes in your body for up to 3 years after you're done eating meat. So if you're the kind that stopped eating meat 3 years ago, then maybe you need to supplement. But a nutrient deficiency in a vegan diet is actually less normal when you consume a whole foods plant-based diet than when you consume the standard American diet. I love it when people tell me, where are you getting the B12? Where are you getting your calcium? And I tell them, from plants, number one, and number two, and where are you getting your 2 dozen nutrients that don't exist in potatoes and meat? Where are you getting them? And so let's be curious about the nutrient deficiencies, and learn and educate ourselves that it requires diligence. Every diet, especially when you are trying to become healthier and stronger, will require some changes and some diligence. Difficulty dining on is an absolute uh, just an absolute fallacy. I cannot express this enough. Cannot tell you how many times I go to a restaurant and I just get some mashed potatoes, some steamed vegetables, a side of avocado or guacamole, and I make an amazing meal full of nutrients, as long as there's a lot of colors on that plate. Unrealistic expectations. What are the expectations? I just show you the data. The expectations are that things are going to be amazing for you. And social isolation, that is only if you want to. I don't tell people that I'm a vegan. I don't need people in my business. I just simply, when they see me in my plate, they're like, "Oh, you're not having any chicken, or you're not having any seafood." I'm like, "No, that's just not today." And if somebody asks me, then I volunteer. And in my line of work, of course, I use it all the time. But is it socially isolating? Mm, I mean, if you are the kind that wants to become a true advocate and become really, aggressive in your advocacy, then yes, you will end up being isolated because you're acting like a bully, and that's just, you're going to be isolated regardless of what diet you want to embrace. And so the second question that people ask me is, how do they shift to a plant-based or a plant-strong diet? And I always tell people, this is a process. It takes time. Be kind to yourself and follow these 6 things that I put here on the screen. I tend to use a reduce and replace method. It is almost impossible for people to stick to a plan if they just completely eliminate something and then don't have anything to replace that void that thing left with, right? So maybe reduce the amount of animal flesh and replace it with something yummy that you might want to try, something new, until you get used to it and you keep reducing and replacing, reducing and replacing. I love starting small, so maybe just 3 meals a week. Just say meatless Mondays, for example, is a perfect example. Then doing your research and educating yourself, because education and knowledge is what's going to empower you to keep going. And eventually you might want to get to a point where you're having more plant-based meals and less of the meat-based meals, and those are considered treats instead of the plant-based meals being considered treats. So you're going to move from like, oh, my plant-based meals are actually a treat, to like, eventually it is my meat-based meals that are going to be a treat, until you finally are ready emotionally and physically ready to get rid of the meat entirely. And again, as I said at the very end, give yourself time, love, patience, and be loving to yourself. I want to leave you with a great resource. I actually mentioned this on video number 1, but I wanted to mention it here for you to start doing that amazing research. So whether it is because you love to read or listen to audiobooks, or you like documentaries, or you prefer videos, there's a ton to unpack and find. Just Google on YouTube, for example, Michael Greger, and find all of the videos that he has, because they're full of amazing data, very solid, and really, really entertaining. And they're like bite sizes, just over 5 or 6 minutes tops. And the documentaries are there. If you actually search for one documentary or a book, you're gonna get solutions or suggestions for other stuff. So the sky is the limit as to what you can and cannot do, and how much you're going to learn about this process. Again, give yourself time and love. Come back here for video number 3, where I'll be talking about the heart health botanicals, those amazing plants that have traditionally been used to protect, to balance, and restore heart health. So I cannot wait to see you. Make sure that you share this video with all of your friends all over the internet, and that you subscribe for more tips and a jolt of motivation for your healthy, happy, and beautiful life. See you soon.